Good day, or as they say in France, bonne journée. I do formally apologize that I'm late to the conversation. I spent most of my day in Washington discussing with Chancellor Hagerott about his Envision 2030 plan. There has been many things discussed. One of the things that I brought up was the effectiveness of online classes and how hard it would be to implement many of the effective teaching methods in schools. Much of this article focuses on building connections with the students to get them to strive to learn. It may also be that someday we will be teaching students online in the high school setting. One may never know with the ever-changing climate. My question to you, as fellow students, is how would you, as a teacher, find out what a student likes over an online setting? How would you gauge student interest in those topics and find ways to engage them? Or even find out why engagement was working? What do we expect students to learn? We expect students to learn the basic fundamentals of learning in studying as well as the chosen subjects. We also expect students to learn the basic information that's connected with what they strive for. How do we know when students have learned? We knew students have learned when they use expert study habits as well as find ways to compare their subject to the subject at hand and are striving to meet the standard. So, for example, when a student who, let's just say, really wants to be an astronaut, they can find connections to, let's just say, the center of the gravity of the universe, the sun's barycenter, with why mass has mass. And we actually don't know the answer to the question, but you get my example. What do we know when a student does not learn? We get the students to keep practicing. Practice, practice, practice. Practice makes perfect, and no one's perfect. And this was a little bit of an aha moment to me, because if we do not grade students on failed attempts, they will usually feel encouraged to do better, to keep practicing, and especially if it shows into what they want to do for the rest of their life. They will do everything they can to usually try to make that dream possible for them. So it shouldn't be too hard to encourage them to keep practicing. And the idea is that everyone fails at the first attempt at really everything, and it might not be an outright fail, but it's certainly not our best. How do we know when students have already learned? This one's pretty simple, at least in my opinion. Achieve mastery. It takes approximately 20,000 hours, in my opinion, to master a subject, and that's what I've been told by many professors in many different fields. No student will learn a subject completely. It's simply not possible. There's always higher levels of understanding. There's always more that you can connect with the subject. You can add context to the subject from different points of view. You can look through historical context. You can look at foreign perceptions of what you're trying to do. There is so much you can do with any given topic, no matter how little a person might think it is. It is inextricably linked to many different facets of life that you can always find ways to connect what you're trying to do with. Good night and good luck, as the famous Moreau would say. But as the French would say it, bonne nuit et bonne chance.